Welcome back, designers. In today's tutorial, we're going to be going over several challenges inspired by the 2015 version of the InDesign certification test. In this particular template, you have 10 different pages that you guys are going to be editing to demonstrate evidence of each of these techniques. Starting off with challenge 1, it's asking you to edit the master page by inserting the current page number on the bottom center frame of the page. So if we look at each of these pages, there's a frame with no page number. So we need to make sure that each of these pages has a page number by going to the Pages panel, double-clicking on the A parent page, selecting our Type tool, clicking inside of the frame, then going to the Type menu at the top of your workspace, selecting Insert Special Character, Marker, and Current Page Number. Just for kicks, I will also be going and centering the page number so that when I go to page 1, it's going to reflect page 1, page 2, page 3, and so forth. Challenge 2 says, create a new character style based on the word magic, name the style flashy title and set its alignment to the center, then apply the style on the word tricks. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fix the alignment by selecting the word magic, going to the paragraph style, paragraph panel in my properties, and I'm going to select center alignment. Now that the alignment has been corrected, I'm going to go to Window, Styles, and Character Styles. I'm going to click on the plus sign at the bottom to create a new style. It's going to say Character Style 1. I'm going to call this Flashy Title 1. I'm going to click OK. And now when I click on the word tricks, to apply the same exact formatting, all I have to do is click on the Flashy Title style, and it will have been corrected. I can see that the alignment didn't carry over, so I can easily fix that by going to my properties. And now both words have the same equal properties and alignment. Challenge 3 says, add placeholder text in the empty text frame. This one's super simple. You have an empty text frame. It's currently not filled with any color or anything. It just has a stroke around it. And the idea is that we're going to enter text in here. To do so, we're going to click with our Type tool inside of the text frame. Then we're going to go to the Type menu and select the option that says Fill with Placeholder Text. And that is it. Challenge 4 is slightly more complex as it uses the interactive features in InDesign. The idea is that we're going to be taking this image and animating it. The challenge says, add an interactive animation to the image, use the following settings. The trigger event should be user rollover with the spin preset. The duration should be 1.5 seconds. To do so, we're going to select the image with our selection tool, go to Window, Interactive, Animation. Under Preset, we're going to click Choose, and I'm going to select Spin. Under Event, I need to make sure that it says On Rollover. And for the duration, I'm going to have it set to 1.5 seconds. This little icon right over here is going to tell me basically that I just created the animation. To preview the animation, I can go to Window, Interactive, EPUB Interactivity Preview, and I can click Play. So this is not going to obviously show if you were to export this file as a PDF for print. It would show, however, if you exported it in a format that supported animation. As long as you know how to create the animation, you're good. Challenge 5 is another easy one. It says, select the square, change the fill to C or cyan 15, M or magenta 61, Y or yellow 100, and K or black 0. Then set the stroke to C100, M90, Y10, and K0. The first thing I need to do is select the actual square In my Properties panel, I'm going to double-click inside of the fill, and instead of selecting one of these swatches by default, I'm going to click inside of the color, and I'm going to enter each of those properties one by one. So cyan is 15, magenta is 61, yellow is 100, and black is 0, which is going to form this orange color. Then I'm going to double click on the stroke. Once again, I'm going to flip to the color panel. I made sure that I clicked on the none stroke so that I could change it from the default black to another color. And then I'm going to enter the properties: C100, M90, Y10, and K0. So I could show this blue stroke around it. If I press W, you'll be able to faintly see the blue stroke. Challenge 6 says, the word froyo has been converted to outlines. Change the fill color of the outlines to red with no transparency. So as you can see, it kind of appears gray at this point, but that is because we lowered the opacity on the black so that it appears gray. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to change the transparency. To do so, we're going to open the Properties panel, click on the frame, and I can see that the opacity has been set to 50%. So I'm going to go and increase it all the way to 100. So it's not going to appear gray anymore. Having selected 100 opacity, I'm going to click inside the fill, and I'm going to change it to red. Challenge 7 is another question having to do with opacity. It says, select the image, change the opacity of the image to 50%. So we're basically doing the steps backwards from the previous challenge. We're going to select the image. In the Properties panel, we're going to go to the opacity. We're going to type in 50%. And we're going to press Enter to save our changes. Doing so is going to make this image a little bit more fainter and harder to see, more transparent. Challenge 8 states, create a new table using the following settings: 4 rows, 3 columns, 1 header row. Label the header columns: crust, sauce, and toppings. You can see that a frame has already been created for you. In order to add a table inside of this frame, you need to click inside of the frame with your type tool. When the type tool is active, and I can see that the cursor is blinking, I'm going to go to the Table menu at the top of my workspace, and I'm going to select Insert Table. Then I'm going to put in the dimensions needed. So 4 rows, 3 columns, 1 header row, and I'm going to click OK. Having now created the table, all I have to do is input the column headings. So crust, sauce, toppings. On the test, if it were asking you to format the heading, add colors, or do any other steps, then you would certainly fulfill them. In this case, all we have to do is create the table, and we're done. Challenge 9 says, correct the overset text. I can see in my pre-flight panel, it's giving me 3 errors, and each of the errors has to do with the text being overset, meaning that there's too much text for such a small text box. I'm going to click on my pre-flight panel, and I can see exactly where the problems are. So when I click on text frame, it tells me which text frame exactly has the issue. To correct this issue, all I have to do is make the text smaller. So using my type tool, I'm going to highlight the text, go in my properties, and maybe change it to 10 points instead of 12 so that it fits. I'm going to do the same thing for each of these text boxes. So change them from 18 to 10 points. And one more time here, from 18 to 10 points. And now my pre-flight panel is not going to give me any mistakes whatsoever. It's going to give me the green light saying no errors because I just adjusted each of the overset text inside of these frames. For the last challenge, it's asking us to merge the two shapes using the Pathfinder and place the text inside the frame. The first thing that I need to do is make sure that I select the actual shapes. Using Shift, I'm going to select both shapes simultaneously. I'm going to make sure that they overlap slightly. Then I'm going to hold down Shift and select both frames simultaneously. Then, in my Properties panel, I'm going to select the Add Pathfinder option, which is basically going to go and combine both of the shapes into one cohesive label. And then to place the text, all I have to do is move it over and position it right smack dab in the middle of the bottom half, which is rectangular. And that is how you complete Challenge 10. Having completed each of my challenges, I'm ready to export my final draft. I'm going to do so by going to File, Export, and under Format, I'm going to make sure it says Adobe PDF Interactive so I can see the active hyperlinks and animations in the file. I'm going to call this Final Draft 2015 InDesign Challenges. And I'm going to click Save and Export. And that, my friends, is how you complete your challenge. Hit me up if you have any questions whatsoever, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Peace out.